Hello guys, and welcome to a new Star Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. In this video I have for you game 2 of a best of 3 between Nilla and Shaun in the semi-finals of the Season 2 playoffs of the Steel Division League. In this one they are playing on Tali in Ihantala, and on our left, playing on the allied side, we have Nilla using the 184th rifles once again, and the Vanguard deployment type. On our right, on the Axis side, we have Shaun playing with the 20th Panzer and the balanced deployment type. The bans for this game are as follows. Shaun banned Nilla from playing the 26th Guards Rifles, the 3rd Guards Tank Corps, the 1st Polish Infantry, and the 84th Guards Rifles. Nilla banned Shaun from playing the Panzer, the Fallschirmpanzer Göring, the 78th Sturm, and the 25th Panzer Grenadier. I believe the bans were pretty much identical to the bans from the first game, so both players comfortable with their options, and Shaun not particularly worried about Nilla's 184th apparently, even though he got pretty badly beaten by the 184th in the first game. But he's choosing balance once again. Shaun very comfortable with the balanced deployment type, but the 20th Panzer will certainly open up a lot more early options for him. We talked about the 184th previously. They have a lot of very strong infantry units, the Strelki DP being one of the best medium range units that the Soviets have, using SVTs and 2 DP machine guns. They have the close range infantry to back that up, with all of the Ognemachiki, the Tankodesantniki, Avtomachiki, and so on. They also have plenty of support weapons, 45mm AT guns, as well as infantry guns. They've got decent light armor to back it all up, as well as the IL-2 planes, of course. Over on the 20th Panzer, though, the reason I say it's going to be better in the early game is because they get access to captured T-34s. They've got Panzer IVs in the early game, which are really going to shut down that Stuart play, that Nilla might put out. Also, those tanks are really good for infantry support because both the T-34s and the Panzer IVs have 2 machine guns as well as their HE that can really do a lot of damage to infantry, and they can survive the PTRD and PTRS shots at a distance, which Shaun was struggling with in the first game because he was using Lux and they had a lot lighter armor than the T-34s and the Panzer IVs do. Either way, let's have a look at the troops going down. So for the top side here, Nilla. He's got a PTRS squad with a Strelki there, 2 Ognemachiki, those are 2-man flamer squads, 2 of the 76mm infantry guns, and 2 45mm AT guns. The 45mm AT guns will actually be very good against the Panzer IVs, so Shaun will have to watch out for those, and at 2-star veterancy, they can be very, very effective. They only need a leader by it without a commander in order to give it 3-star veterancy, and then their rate of fire goes up massively, and so does their accuracy. Either way, 3 units of Ognemachiki on the bottom side, PTRS 41, 82mm mortar from the start of the game, 2 76mm infantry guns, a 45mm AT gun there, 2 units of snipers, and then we see the Strelki DP. There's going to be 4 Strelki DP, 2 normal Strelki. You can see that Nilla is using the Strelki DP at the 1-star veterancy, so that he can use the leader-commander combination. He does have the Avtokomroti and the commander behind them, and so his Strelki DP will be 3-star and absolutely rip to shreds units at the mid-range engagement, just like they did in the previous game. Another sniper at the back, a few more units of Strelki. Let's head over to Shaun's side of things. At the start of the game, he's going to be bringing in the T-34 at the start. That's the one with the 90mm of frontal armor, the 1942 variants. There's the Barrierführer there, and the Commandant, so it looks like Shaun also going for the leader-commander combination. He's going to be bringing in a couple of Panzer Grenadiers, as well as the Flammenwerfer. He's got the Flak 38, with a 20mm being towed. So that's going to be the SDKF Z11 Flak. And he's also got a 45mm AT gun in there. Don't think I really missed much else. For the middle, we've got the IG-18. There's going to be 3 units of Ersatztruppen and a Panzer III. The Panzer III, really good sniper. And in the center of this map, Tali and Ihantala, it's quite open. So he's going to be trying to make use of that to snipe. On this top side, we've got 3 units of Ersatztruppen, 2 IG-18s. Actually, makes it like 3 IG-18s, 4 units of Ersatz, and the T-34-42 for the top side. So the infantry engagement will be mainly centered around the bottom side. In the center, we might see more armor play coming out of Shaun in order to push across there, but Panzer IVs will have to be wary. T-34, maybe not so much. Either way, nice snipe there from the 45mm early on. The mortar fire with the smoke not coming down quick enough to stop Shaun sniping an Ognemachiki. So one of the Flamer squads goes down, not a massive loss for Nilla, and he has managed to cover the advance of his Strelki DP. He's managed to get in position before Shaun did, and Shaun's Flammenwerfers are a bit out of position here. This one isolated on its own, 1 versus 2. Generally, the Flammenwerfers' numbers win out. Ersatztruppen trying to push their way across the open will get fired upon by the 45mm and 76 soon, so Shaun might lose that Ersatztruppen if he doesn't unload it sooner than later. You see the infantry gun opening up towards the Battlefeuer. Does miss. Shaun's going to get away with that. Interesting that the Battlefeuer is coming in to secure this point. The Strelki and snipers and so on might be able to push up and take that point, since the Battlefeuer is the only thing in the way. 2 Panzergrens now engaging the Flammenwerfer, or the Ognemachiki, sorry. The Flammenwerfer is going to unseat the Strelki DP from their cover, which is going to make the Panzer Grenadiers very, very powerful. Now, this is an interaction that is quite important to note. If you are sitting yourself in buildings and your opponent runs up to you with the Flammenwerfer, they can unseat you from your heavy cover, whilst Flamers from Nilla, for example, would not be able to do the same to Shaun, because Shaun's going to be in heavy cover regardless of whether or not the flamethrowers make him move. But this is some nice mortar fire coming down for sure. Certainly helping out with this engagement. Shaun's going to be very careful with his Panzer Grenadier, not let it get too far forwards. If they get pinned down, and the Battlefeuer also gets pinned down, then they will surrender. In the middle, we do see the tracks broken T-34, and an Me-109 G2R1 came in with the bomb to drop onto one of these 76mm guns that was firing at the Ersatztruppen. So the T-34-42 going to be engaging the 76mm gun there. I believe he may have lost line of sight because it's not firing back currently. Sniper on the bottom side has found shots onto the AT gun as well as the Flammenwerfer squad. Strelki is now getting involved as well with their machine guns, and looks like these Panzer Grenadiers, they push back. The Phase A off map is coming into play. 280mm off map from Nilla. This could be very, very powerful for this bottom side to break through and not only secure this flag that he's already on, but also the flag behind. T-34 moving back. Has taken quite a few hits from the HE of the 76mm infantry gun, so if it stays close, might get killed by the off map, but no, Shaun's going way far back with that. Battlefeuer going to be right in the middle of that artillery strike. Panzer III further up, currently engaging the sniper down the road as that engages the Ersatztruppen. I think Shaun's just trying to probe which defenses he can take out. But here comes the off map on this bottom side. Battlefeuer forced back. Panzer Grenadiers as well. Didn't take too much damage, but the sniper actually picking off a few members of that squad. It looks like they're going to get out of there. The artillery coming down quite slowly indeed. I think with the larger caliber off map, they generally don't have as many shells, so it's much more sporadic than like a 150mm off map, for example. Generally has like a lot more. Shaun's placed the beacon on the 76. He's probably looking to drop a bomb on that in the future. That's going to maybe kill off this Ersatztruppen. Exactly what it's there for. On the bottom side, Panzergrens coming in. See 2 more Ersatztruppen on the way and another T-34. These T-34s will be absolutely vital for helping Shaun's infantry win these engagements. But it's nice to see the use of the veterancy on these Panzer Grenadiers, because they've been getting a lot of value because of that. So now they've fallen back to this location. Panzergrens in heavy cover here will do plenty against the Strelki. The Strelki down here do not have SVTs, they're using Mozins, so they're not going to do as much damage. Of course, there are numbers, so this Panzer Grenadier still suffering in the light cover. But with the T-34-42 now getting involved, these guys might get cut down pretty quick. 20mm getting involved with the Strelki DP engagement there. But we do see the SDK of Z11 flak did get killed. This Panzer Grenadier stuck in the open against an infantry gun is not something you'd like to see. Battlefjeder now up against Thraki and PTRS. They will lose out. The Battlefjeder don't have much close range capability, and the PTRS does have an extra submachine gun to add to that Thraki squad. Thraki on the bottom side though, 2 squads already cleaned up, 1 pushing through the bottom side of these trees, the Flammenwerfer there to try and clean those out. Meanwhile in the center, the 2 infantry guns and the AT gun have been killed, and Shaun going to be pushing forward slowly with the Ersatztruppen to gain ground. Now we've got to remember that Shaun's defending against a Vanguard deployment type right now, so he's doing very, very well, keeping it 50-50. Meanwhile, Nilla really needs to get a move on, because as soon as he moves into Phase B, he loses his income advantage, and if he starts losing out on infantry engagements and sort of loses value, then yeah, he's in trouble. So at the moment, Nilla kind of building up a force here. He's waiting for the off-map to come down onto this town, and he's going to be bringing down the mortar fire, which is going to provide smoke. And now he's going to rush it with his Tanko Desantniki and the Thraki DP. Now you'll see that he used the Tanko Desantniki first because these guys have half-tracks and therefore they're a lot more protected against AT fire and the tanks. Oh, nice kill there from the 45. Does take out the T-34. That's going to make this push even easier for Nilla. We do see the IG-18 is going to spot all of these vehicles heading towards this town, and the Panzer III not far off being pinned itself. A Molotov or 2 might just get the job done. IG-18 actually takes out one of the Tanko Desantniki before they unload. These do have heat shells, so very good penetration versus these half-tracks. Here comes the off-map, it's still coming down. Does manage to get the surrender onto the Panzer III, does take the flag. Really nice move there from Nilla. Saved up a bunch of forces and pushed on through. I feel like he almost might have overinvested into that push. Give me a lot of infantry on top of one another there now. And he's losing control of the bottom side. Panzer Grenadiers continuing to push up. Thraki DP found themselves behind enemy lines at close range. The Panzer Grenadiers can do very well because their MG is just so much better at pinning down the enemy squad. But the MG is actually being used to attack the Thraki DP at a distance, so we'll have to see how that goes. Battlefjeder moving up to maintain the veterancy onto those Panzer Grenadiers. T-34-42 not being used to support just yet. We've got to be careful still of these 3-star 45 mils. The Panzer III currently hiding behind that tree line. T-34 on the top side. Still tracks broken, but still providing support. IG-18 also getting involved with its HE power. More 82mm mortar fire coming down now from Nilla. Interesting to see him invest so much into these mortars early on. But it might be due to the fact this map kind of does create quite a lot of choke points. You can see there's a choke point here, there's a choke point on this bottom side between the trees. There's like this choke point and this choke point on the top side. So artillery fire can be a lot more effective on this map than maybe on some other more open maps. This Avto Komroti might be in a spot of trouble. Needs to probably keep that alive though in order to provide extra veterancy to these AT guns. If he moved it back slightly, he might be able to get the 3-star veterancy, but oh, not sure what that was. Was that the IG? Couldn't have been. Something just smacked that 45. It might have been the T-34 shot, honestly, but that T-34 is now bailed out. That's not going to be going anywhere. Panzer III currently engaging this infantry as it pushes through the town. Tanko Desantniki just getting into defensive positions, I reckon. And Thraki DP now taking up positions on the edge of the tree line to mow down the Ersatztruppen in the open and gain presence back over the flags in the center. But it's only 13-11. Shaun has plenty of time. It is now 10 seconds until Phase B, and yeah, 26 minutes until Shaun is defeated. So Nilla's got to keep up the momentum moving into Phase B, otherwise he will definitely be in trouble for the rest of the game. More Osttruppen on the way now for Shaun, backing up his bottom side. A lot of the Panzer Grenadiers have been cleaned up now, or at least are on very low health. Osttruppen definitely losing out in these open range engagements. This 20mm surprisingly has done a lot of damage to infantry on this top side. You can see it's probably going to kill that Thraki squad that's engaged it. Really nice from that AA. It's just a shame that the SDKFZ-11 flak went down, but that's going to give the flag back there to Shaun. T-34 still bailed out on this bottom side. You can't see that it's bailed out because the transmission damage has overwritten that. It's 20 mil. That gets shot at by... Not sure what that got hit by, but lost 2 health regardless. Ah, it was the ISU-122. Damn, look at that line of sight through there. Just as well I spotted that. Either way, on the bottom side, 280mm off map, just about to come down on all of this Ostropen that's just arrived. Poor Ostropen. That off map might also kill the T-34 because it is so damaged. Shaun might lose control over this flag again, especially with the 2 Strelky DP arriving from Nilla. Meanwhile, in the center, T-34 trying to push up. There's 2 37mm AA now, trying to stop the ME-109G2R1 from landing the bombing strikes onto the support weapons of Nilla. IG-18, though, dealing with the 45mm IT gun. ISU-122 is coming out to play, showing their dominance in the open ground. They are quite vulnerable to side shots, so Nilla will have to be careful with his placement of these. But now pushing more infantry into the left side here. Cherno's going to be unloaded alongside the Strelky DP. Going to maybe try and clean up this T-34-42, but he's got to get the ISU-122 to do that, really, rather than using the ISU with its HE shells to pin down the IG and such. This IG is almost out of heat ammunition, but that one shot actually could do the job. ME-109G2R1 coming in with a bomb again. That's going to be landing right on the Chernos. Nice double pin there. T-34-42 might try and charge those down. Currently still 13-11 in favor of Nilla. You see the 45mm here trying to engage the T-34-42 from range. It's currently using the APCR, or at least it used the last of its APCR shots at range. The APCR shots will not penetrate the T-34-42 at all. Not through that 90mm of frontal armor at least. This Panzer III engaging these Chernos as they push forwards. It looks like Nilla's been slowed right down. It was very, very fast and furious. Shaun, just trying to keep up with Nilla in the early game, has managed to solidify this bottom side now. Ostropen are coming back after that off-map strike, and they will potentially be able to push through limited numbers of Strelky DP here. They overwhelm them with the MG34s. It might just be enough. But this T-34 certainly needs fixing up. I reckon Shaun maybe doesn't realize that it's actually bailed out. IL-2 now being used. Rocket strike and strafing run afterwards. IL-2KR, the recon variant of the IL-2, also being used. Apologies for the camera there. These are very beautiful planes. Lovely camo on these. 45mm having a go at the turret stuck T-34-42. The one that was tracks broken has been killed. The other one's going to fall back. Turret stuck is going to make it very, very difficult for that to be effective. And you've got a lot of infantry pushing up here. Strelky, Chernos, and so on. All these Chernos have found themselves on top of an IG-18. That's going to be a very dead IG. T-34 just can't help in that situation because it is turret stuck. See the mortar fire still coming down on the bottom side. Ostropen are starting to pin down some of these Strelky DP. Panzer Grenadiers coming in to back this up. Fixing up this T-34 is absolutely crucial on the bottom side. It looks like Shaun's actually just going to invest in another one in order to push through here. Of course, a T-34 does cost, I think, 45 points, or 55 points in this case, for the 42 variant. That's pretty much the same cost as a supply. Supply's like 50 points, right? Or 40 points. So probably just better to invest in another tank rather than fix the one he already had. I guess it depends how much you need the supply for other things, like having the APCR on the Panzer IIIL might be worth it. This ME-109G2R1 here, looking for the engagement onto the IL-2KR, may have stayed around for just a little bit too long. 37mm are engaging both of these ME-109s. Are they going to go down? The one in the middle certainly does. The one on the bottom side going to get out. Into the center, we do see Ostropen on the way, as well as 4 units of Pioneer SVT. Pioneer SVT. They are going to be traveling to this top side in order to clean out the Chernos and the Strelki DP at close range, and Nilla will certainly struggle to deal with that. And it looks like into sort of the mid to late game, Nilla's infantry quality has declined dramatically. He is relying a lot now on these disheartened Chernos and doesn't seem to have much availability in terms of close range infantry. Got a lot of the Strelki DP, a lot of the Chernos, but no Tanko Desaniki, no Avtos in Phase B, no more Flamers, of course, because generally the cards brought in Phase A. So, yeah, that's an opportunity for sure for these Pioneers on the top side to do really well. Meanwhile, on the bottom, completely cleaned up by Shaun, the T-3442 arriving to back this up, and he's fully secured this flag. The next flag that he'd want to go for is on this island, but whether or not he can get there is a different question entirely. It's going to be quite easy for the Chernos to pin down any infantry that try and cross, but this one Ostropen is going for it already. Might be able to kill off this off-map vehicle as well. I reckon that off-map's probably used up all its strikes by now, but still be a nice kill for the KD. Oh, nice kill there. Pack 43 coming in from Shaun. Does take out one of the ISU 122s in the center. You see a Pack 40 arriving to these flags on the main road. And that, I guess, potentially will be looking for the ISU 122 kill here. Although Shaun's got another Pack 43 in position. Goodbye, IS 122. Look at how big these are. And the absolute champions who can pick those up. Damn. Big old gun. So MG42 in the open is going to continuously provide fire onto these Chernos as they try and cross the open. IL-2 coming in for the strafing run onto the Pack 43. But that's just going to happily fire away with HE SDKFZ71 now coming in for Shaun. He's had enough of the IL-2s. Big amount of infantry pushing into this bottom side. Look at this. Nilla's really invested all he's got. Multiple units of Strelki, multiple units of Cherno. It's even got the ISU 122 in there that's already killed the T-34. Big push back. Shaun's got to be very, very careful. Going to be investing in multiple Panzer IV F1s. Now, these are decent at killing off infantry. They do have the 2 HE damage on those HE shells, as well as 2 machine guns. So it will do a lot of damage to Chernos. Got to be careful of the PTRDs of the Strelki DP though, because their armor is a lot worse than the Panzer IV-G, which he is also bringing in, probably to deal with an ISU at close range. MU-109 coming in once again. The bombing strikes from these with the 250 kilogram bombs, able to one-shot these 4 health support weapons. And he does so once again. Really nice use of these MU-109 G2R1s to clean up those weapons on the top side. Now the Pack 43 going to be engaging this 37mm from range. And the MG42 still sitting here in the open, happily mowing down infantry across the fields. Ostropen up against Chernos. Ostropen do have the heavy cover, but they are getting low on Kar 98 ammunition, which will cause the Chernos to maintain an advantage. This push has managed to secure the flag. Nilla maintains the 13-11. But we're not really seeing too many more reinforcements coming in at the moment. One more unit of Cherno coming towards the center of the map, and plenty coming in from Shaun. Got another Pack 40 on the way. Looks like the Pack 40 here did actually end up dying. The 3 Panzergrens though, they're going to be the answer, potentially, to this bottom side push. If Shaun can use this Commandant like a leader, he could make his Panzergrens 2-star veterancy, and then they'll be very, very effective if pushed upon whilst they're in heavy cover. Rocket Strike does come in there. Hits the Pioneers, doesn't do too much damage. I think that was mainly due to the SDKFZ71 reducing its accuracy. Doesn't look like the SDKFZ71 is going to get the kill though. IL-2 gets away with it this time. Ostropen on the bottom side have fallen back and have been surrounded. They did a good job against that Cherno unit. Considering their lack of ammunition, they did run out of Kar 98 ammunition in the end. Now it's basically a game of chicken here between these two squads, unless, of course, Nilla comes down and tries to get rid of that squad. Oh, the ISU 122 is taking shots at the Panzer IVs as they go by. Doesn't manage to reload a second shot. But the poor Panzer IV that went first got absolutely annihilated. The rest of them pushing up onto the road to capture that flag. Now the MG42's gonna be under fire from the HE rounds of the ISU. MG42 now engaging the Chernos as they continue to push up. And then it's got to be very careful here. Doesn't really want to overextend with his infantry, especially considering he's probably trying to conserve a lot of forces at the moment. His infantry availability must be getting low with a Vanguard division. IL-2 coming in with a strafing run onto these Panzergrenadiers. Maybe he thinks that he can get hit this flag, which is certainly a possibility, but it's very, very close to Shaun's spawn, so it won't take him long to reinforce this point if he wanted to. Meanwhile, in the center, Tanko Desaniki and the Avtamachiki still standing strong on the center flag. But these topside flanks are really vulnerable right now. MU-109G2R1 going for a head-on with the IL-2. You wouldn't want to see that in War Thunder. IL-2 would rip the MU-109 to pieces. IL-2M3 coming in with the rocket strikes. We got one with the AT rockets, looking for the kill onto the T-3442. That would enable the M5 Stuarts to push forwards. They do manage to get the job done. IL-2M3 also going for the strafing run onto the SDKZ-71. Nilla trying his luck. Damn, that was cheeky. Nice try. Didn't quite get the job done. SDKZ-71 will survive to fight another day. And with that T-34 going down, Nilla hopes that he can push forwards, but there is the PaK-43, of course, still there. He did not know that. He now knows that, and his other M5 Stuart runs for the hills. Both of them going down to one shot from the PaK-43. Oh, this top side is so open. Shaun might just start pushing up with those infantry squads soon enough. Do see the off-map coming down from the 220mm here. Flammenwerfer pushing into the town, looking for the surrenders to capture back the flag from the Tankos and the Avtos. Panzer IV, close range engagement with the ISU 122. That's not a place you want to be. Oh dear. The big boy wins again. This Panzer IV though might be a scary opponent for the ISU at close range, because the ISU will take a long time to reload if it misses. More infantry coming in, as I mentioned before. Nilla potentially overextending on this bottom side. Shaun easily reinforcing this very, very quickly indeed. He's got the half-track and Panzergren push going. Looks very, very cool actually. Half-tracks leading the push, whilst the Panzergrens follow up. Awesome sight. Meanwhile, the Panzergren's further up. Shaun is using the Commandant as a leader to get the extra veterancy onto his troops so they can win out decisively against the Strelki DP. Back to 12 now. Shaun's managed to stop the ticks as his infantry starts to move across the open and secure those flags. Bring back the flag in the center with a couple of Flammenwerfer and an off-maps. Nice and efficient. Now he's just got to do the same on the bottom side. Take back these three flags, and then he will be happy. MU-109G2R1 coming in again with the bombing strike. These MU-109s have been absolutely vital throughout this game, not only to kill the support weapons, but also pin down infantry. And another lovely bombing strike is going to clean up that Strelki DP squads with the help of the MG42s. Oh, here we go. The game of chicken. Who's going to win? The Chernos or the Ostropen? The Ostropen with the MG34. That's all he's got to hand. Where is he? There he is. It's amazing how much an MG34 looks like an MP40. But far away he does. Can he take out the Cherno? There we come. IL-2 M3 comes in with a rocket strike, cleans up one of the Panzer Grenadiers there. Stroki DP. They could probably clean up these half-tracks quite well with the PTRDs, but the PTRDs are quite slow to reload compared to the PTRS. There we go, one of them goes down, but the infantry have now caught up. Oh, nice strafing run coming in there from the IL-2 M3. Can it clear up another one? Not really. Surviving on 1 health, 1 man survives. Another half-track goes down, but so does the Stroki DP. And so goes the second squad. IL-2 a little late to the party there. IL-2 M3 doesn't quite get the job done on the Panzer 3L. And that's going to be the bottom side objectives in favour of Shaun. He's brought the 220mm off map in on the bottom side as well. Lost line of sight with his IL-2s, so not going to be able to strafe. Panzer 4G on the way to support this. So it looks like the Panzer 4G in the middle also went down. Not sure if that was to the IL or ISU 122, but lovely use of the Ju-87 D5s. Nice Stuka strike there. Cleans out the infantry ahead of the Pioneer SVT, which may allow this Pioneer to move to the edge of the tree line and put pressure on this flag. Currently Nilla just holding on to that with 1 Stroki squad. IL-2 is coming out in waves now. He continues the strafing runs. Loses line of sight onto the half-track, so does not find that kill. 88's just trying to force these IL-2s back now. Very, very cool indeed. So the Flammenwerfers and the Panzergrens standing strong on the flag in the town in the centre. We do see that the Pak-43 there cleans up the ISU 122 as it comes up to the road to the centre. ME-109, has it got a bombing strike onto the mortars? I believe it might just have. Yep, one of the mortars goes down, the other one takes 3 health points damage. Nice bombing strike there from Shaun. Very confident there wasn't any AA. Goes deep into the lines to find that bombing strike. Panzer 3 does clean up one of the M5s on the bottom side, now taking shots at the Stroki as they push into this town. With the Vanguard divisions, it's quite often that you see like 1 card of like a weak infantry squad for Phase C, just to kind of help you hold on as long as you can if you need to into Phase C. And in this case, it looks like Nilla's troop of choice is the Stroki, 20 points a pop. Decent line infantry to hold the line, but unfortunately Shaun does have the advantage now. And that's really, really bad news for Nilla at this point in the game. Ju-87's coming in for those strikes. Oh, lovely bombing strikes from the Stukas. Destroy the Stroki as they push up. Very, very nicely done. IL-2 M3 came in with a napalm strike on the bottom side. Looks like that might have killed an infantry squad. Looking for the kills onto the Ju-87 D5s. Can they fend them off? They can. The IL-2 breaks off. Ju-87s live to fight another day. Panzer Grenadiers pushing into this bottom side are cleaning up the remaining infantry squads. That's going to swing the front line forwards massively, and Nilla realizes the predicament he's in and is going to surrender. 29 minutes, 15 seconds. Shaun holding out against the Vanguard and does take the victory this time around. Lovely stuff indeed. So, takes one back. That's going to make it 1-1 in this best of 3 series. Shaun going 3,105 kills to 2,555 losses. I reckon until the end there, the kills were probably very, very close. As soon as Shaun popped both of the ISU 122s with the Pak-43s, that's probably when he pulled ahead in kills, and that's more or less where the game swung almost completely in Shaun's favour for the rest of the game, especially with that balanced deployment type. But lovely try by Nilla. Had faith in his 184th after the first game, and rightly so, but didn't quite work out this time around. The 280mm off map, did okay. It wasn't the best off map that I've ever seen, but certainly allowed him to break down that bottom side a little bit better. The ISU 122s in the center certainly held their ground longer than I expected, because that open ground in the middle of Tali Ihantala is like really vulnerable, because there's so many places where AT guns can hide and shoot you from different directions. So yeah, they stayed alive longer than I expected, and they got some decent value. This one in particular managing to kill the Panzer III, the T-34, 2 of those T-34s, and the Panzer IV F1, just about pays itself off. 37mm shot down one of the ME-109G2s, and those ME-109G2s were vital throughout this game for Shaun to break down those open range engagements and allow his infantry to capture the flags and stay in the game, because he was definitely struggling in the closer range engagements on the bottom side, but in the longer range engagements he managed to hold the ground, which was important. If he'd allowed Nilla to get across the open and drop some troops into the topside forest engagements earlier on, then he may have been in trouble. Let's have a look at the losses. Oh, a lovely kill list from the ME-109G2 R1 there. That's going to be 3 infantry guns and 2 AT guns and a mortar. Lovely stuff. This 20mm, what an absolute hero that was. Managed to kill a couple of infantry squads. Just sat there in a very like what looked like an open position, but honestly it broke line of sight against most units, and managed to still kill the infantry at close range. This Panzer III managed to get quite a few kills, and the Pak 43 definitely showed up. Killed 2 ISU 122s, 100 points I believe for the Pak 43, and those ISUs certainly cost more with the Stuarts on top. 220mm off map, showing very effective use, especially in the center to clean out the town, and then on the bottom side to help push through. And we see the Panzer IV there also supporting the pushes. So yeah, lovely stuff from Shaun. Managed to hold back the wave of Russian troops this time around. Let's see if he can do it once again. Potentially in the next game, it's going to go down to the 3rd game in this best of 3. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.